Well, hello again. If you were in my third, fourth, or sixth hour, we just had our Google Meet on Friday. I started recording our Google Meet with the directions, but then I accidentally hung up, so then I didn't start recording again. So for those kids who didn't make it to the Google Meet, I'm going to make this video now so that you can have the directions for the next assignment. So what we started talking about, and this will be for my sixth graders too, and my fifth hour, I will post this. So everyone is going to be doing the next assignment. It's going to be it can be a Halloween kind of look to it if you want for next week, the week before Halloween, but it doesn't have to be. So I'll show you some examples both ways. But we're going to focus on making silhouettes. First, you need to know that a silhouette is a dark shape and outline of something or someone. Usually it's visible against a lighter background. A lot of times people can take photos of people on the beach, for example, at sunset or sunrise. You can just see the black outline of a person. So that's a silhouette. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. And we're also going to focus on one color only. If you focus on one color, it's called monochromatic. Mono means one. Chroma is color, so monochromatic is one color. But what we're going to focus on is making tints and shades of that one color. So in order to make a tint of a color, we add white to it to make it lighter. We could add water to it to make it lighter. And if we want to make that one color darker, we add black to it, and that's called a shade. So we're going to take one color, we're going to lighten it to make tints, and we're going to darken it to make shades. And then we're going to put a silhouette on top of that. So for example, this is a silhouette like I was talking about of like sunset probably people, because it's kind of a dimmer. There's not a lot of color or brightness in the sky. It's getting dimmer. That's when the silhouette will appear. So that's kind of cool. So if you need to start thinking about what kind of a silhouette do you want to make. And like I said, it can be Halloween related. It does not have to be. It could be a haunted house. It could be some jack-o'-lantern, pumpkins, carvings, monsters. But it can be anything that you want. Here are some examples of previous kids' work. So what we're going to be kind of doing is more of like a night moonscape. If you look at the tree, you can see that the tree, we painted a moon in the background, just left it white. And then we added white to red, for example, and made it really, really light pink next to the moon. So they did a circle of light pink painted around the moon. Then they added a little bit more red to that to make it a little bit darker, but it's still lighter than the solid red. So these two right here are tints of red because it's really light and then it's a little bit darker, but it's still lighter than the red is. So these, because they took red and they added a little bit of white to it, then they added a little bit more white to it, it got lighter and lighter till I got to white. Okay, so this is red, and then you can see on the outside of that, right here, you can see that they added a tiny little bit of black to it to make it a little bit darker, and then they added a little bit more black to it to make it even more darker, and then it went to all black. Okay, so on this side of the red, these are shades of red, okay? These two, you added white to it, and these two, they added black to it, so tints and shades. So your goal will be to start with white. You can just leave it with the white paper white, and to slowly get darker and darker and darker. So it's lighter, and then it slowly gets darker, 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 darker to black. So we're doing tints and shades of red. You can see this one here was in the sharks. They did it a little bit differently. This looks like they're underwater and they're looking up at the light, which is kind of cool. You can do something like that, but you can see that they left the white and then it's slowly getting darker and darker and darker as you get to the edge. Okay. Here are some examples from past years that did this assignment. You can see all the different ways that it was done. This person here used purple, and you can see that there's tints. These are all tints of purple, and you can see it gets slowly darker, darker, darker as they go out to the edge. Now they did a silhouette of a dog or a wolf and a bird and a tree. So like I say, you can do anything you want. Now they painted this black over top of their painting. So if you don't have construction paper, in order to do your silhouette, you can use black marker. You can also color this with like black crayon and then paint. If you're going to use crayon, I would do the black crayon first and then paint over it or behind it. But if you want to paint first, let it dry, and then do your silhouette solid with black marker, that looks fine too. But if you have construction paper and you want to use that, you can do that too. And I did just post also on Google Classroom a way that you can do this using Google Draw, so digitally, to make a silhouette, which is kind of a cool thing. So you do have a choice. You can do this with watercolors, acrylic paint if you have it, whatever kind of paint you have at home. If you don't have paint at home, then you can do it digitally, like I say, and I just posted that in the materials under this week. Okay, so you can look there. But you can see here that you got some silhouette of trees, a person and a kid in a ball, and a dog, it looks like, snowman. Obviously, I did that one in the winter, and this was kind of cut off there, but it was kind of like a scary Grim Reaper kind of a guy, and some trees and birds. So whatever you want to do for your silhouette, you can do. And the goal of the painting is to show some tints of one color and shades of another color. And like I say, you just do that by adding white to a color or water, and then black to a color to slowly make it darker. And so you just want to see a gradual transition from light to dark. That will be your goal. Okay? So I am looking forward to seeing everything that you do. So we'll be working on this all next week before Halloween. And then we'll start something new after that. So this will be just a quick project. So looking forward to seeing what you do.